Bali is one of the famous vacation destinations in the world. Even people might know Bali first before they realize Bali is part of Indonesia. Travelers visit for various reasons. There's mother and daughter from Chicago, Shayla Von Mack and Heather Mack. Their 2014 trip was an attempt to reconcile their troubled relationship. They had volatile history and would often hurl insults at one another. Shayla Von Mack was a single mother because her husband, James Mack, passed away in 2006 due to pulmonary embolism while their family was on vacation in Greece. Heather was 10 years old when her father passed away. Heather had a really good relationship with her father, and they are very close. She was spoiled by her father. She received almost everything she asked. She was treated like a golden child, and when her father passed away, she felt she had lost almost everything. Heather mourned deeply and didn't know how to cope with the loss. After James died, the relationship between mother and daughter changed drastically. When James gave all what Heather wanted, Shayla made boundaries of what Heather could do and what she couldn't do. Consequently, Heather became to be a rebellious kid and frequently used violence toward her mother. Later, Heather had a boyfriend, Tommy Schaffer, 21 years old. However, Shayla never liked the relationship, and it wasn't just a mother's intuition. Tommy was known as an unemployed man, dropped out from his school. He has various criminal records, including cannabis possession. Shayla was also well aware of Tommy's volatile temperament and how it affected Heather. Caught between grief of her father's death, her mother's restrictions, and Tommy's influence. As a mother, Shayla wanted to fix their relationship. She wanted to be a protector of her daughter, became the sanctuary her daughter was looking for since her father's death. In August 2014, she booked a vacation for the two of them to Bali. They seemed happy and dreaming about the healthier relationship. They arrived in Bali on 4 August 2014, staying at Sunriches Nusa Dua Bali, enjoying the vacation and luxurious facilities of the hotel and local restaurant. But apparently, the chaos did not stop there. They continued to fight and screamed towards each other. The hotel staffs even testified to this. Things got worse when Heather stole her mother's credit card and booked a flight for her boyfriend Tommy. She booked $12,000 business class flight. Shayla discovered the theft when she woke up one morning to find Tommy standing in the bedroom. Shayla immediately lashed out, screaming at Tommy and ordering him to leave. Tommy had been caught off guard. He had entered the room through the side door that was accessible from the beach. She was furious and throwing a racial slur towards Tommy that wounded his pride. Tommy attacked her, using a heavy fruit bowl provided from the hotel as a welcome gift. It was made from thick glass, resembled crystal. Tommy struck her on her face brutally, attacked her with full strength, and caused her to have a massive destruction on her face. Heather did not try to stop Tommy during the attack. She even held her mother's body down so she couldn't fight back. Shayla's face was unimaginable. Blood spilled everywhere. Once Tommy and Heather confirmed Shayla was dead, they got panicked about how to dispose of her body. They decided to stuff it to the medium-sized suitcase and wrapping it with a bed sheet and cleaning the crime scene. At 11 a.m. local time, Tommy and Heather walked out to the lobby and ordered a taxi. They placed the suitcase to the trunk and told the driver to wait for a while when they went back inside to check out. After waiting for some time, but both of them never came back. The driver, Ketut Wirajana, noticing a blood stain from the suitcase, Ketut immediately told the hotel staff and called the police. The police inspected the suitcase reported by the hotel staff and discovered Sheila's body in a fetal position, crammed in a suitcase that actually was never meant to fit the human body. The CCTV footage was reviewed, the ID from the hotel booking list verified, the driver's statement checked. The description of Tommy and Heather caught by the CCTV was spread and warned to the other hotels and transport hub across Bali. And the news also reported about the murder. The footage showed Tommy and Heather exiting the hotel through the side door leading to the beach and hailing another taxi to flee the outrages. In the face of escaping, the fatal thing Tommy and Heather had done was registering with their real ID to the budget hotel they stayed after the murder. The hotel staff recognized their identity and description, called the police. In the morning, specifically at 9 a.m. on 13 August 2014, when they were still asleep, the police captured Tommy Schaffer and Heather Mack with the accusation of murdering Sheila von Wozmark. Heather looked dazed but made no attempt to resist the arrest. Heather pretending to be sick because of her pregnancy and asked for medical treatment in effort to delay the police interrogation. Later confirmed by Sangla Hospital if Heather was 2 months pregnant. Both Tommy and Heather were questioned. However, she created a fake story claiming her mother had been kidnapped by a gang. The statement was definitely debunked by the evidence the police has discovered. They were captured 22 hours after the crime. On 14 August, Tommy Schaffer and Heather Mack were officially named as the perpetrators in the murder of Sheila von Wozmark. Investigation into their background revealed that the emergency service had recorded 86 calls to 911 over the years. Majority of these calls were made by Sheila to report her daughter because of domestic violence. However, most of the reports were withdrawn by Sheila herself. The forensic team from Sangla Hospital stated that Sheila did not die instantly from the physical attack. She was dead because of asphyxia. Her nasal bone was broken, jawbone and her face smashed, resulting in severe bleeding causing the blood to block her respiratory system, leading to her death. The trial of Heather Mack and Thomas Schaffer began in January 2015 at Denpasar District Court and lasted until April 2015. Both were charged under Article 340 of Indonesian Criminal Code for premeditated murder. In the code, Tommy stated that his decision to attack Sheila was an act of self-defense, alleging that Sheila strangled Heather when she found out her daughter's pregnancy. However, his statement was shattered by the text messages between him and Heather that detailed the murder plan. The investigators eventually uncovered their true motives: a $1.5 million trust fund left by Heather's late father. In March 2015, Heather delivered her baby and named her Stella. In April 2015, the judges delivered different sentences for the pair. Tommy Schaffer was sentenced to 18 years in prison. The court identified him as the primary executor, the one who physically struck the fatal blows. His actions were described as sadistic and cold-blooded. Heather Mack, on the other hand, received a lighter sentence of 10 years. While she was found guilty of assisting in the murder, the judges granted her leniency for one primary reason: her newborn daughter. Having given birth in March 2015, just weeks before the verdict, the court ruled that Heather needed to care for her child. However, trustees eventually followed Heather across the ocean. After serving 7 years in Bali's Grobogan prison, she was released early for good behavior and deported to the USA in 2021. Upon landing in Chicago, she was immediately arrested by the FBI. In early 2024, a U.S. federal court sentenced her to an additional 26 years in prison for conspiring to kill a U.S. citizen abroad. Heather received 7 years in total imprisonment in Indonesia and additional 26 years in U.S. The sentence she received in Indonesia because she helped the murder in Indonesian soil. And the sentence in U.S. was because she hurt or murdered U.S. citizens. In law, this is called dual sovereignty doctrine. Since the crime violated both Indonesian law and the U.S. law, both countries had the right to punish them. It was the same for Tommy. He spent 11.5 years in Indonesia and deported to the US on 26 February 2026 to receive the sentence in the US. In a cruel twist of irony, shortly after the murder, the Chicago court froze the $1.5 million trust fund, preventing Heather from accessing it for any reason. Under the legal principle known as the Slayer rule, which forbids a murderer from profiting from their crime, Heather officially forfeited her claims to the inheritance in 2018. The remaining funds were redirected into the trust for her daughter, ensuring that Heather would never touch a single cent of the money she had killed for.